Hello everyone, it's Chaezula here and welcome to another speed build. What I have for you today is Hyrule Castle from one of my favorite games of all time, The Legend of Zelda. So since there are many versions of this game, there are many versions of Hyrule Castle, so it won't be an exact replica of Hyrule Castle, but it will be more like a combination of the Hyrule Castle from Zelda Twilight Princess and the older Zelda games. And I was a bit hesitant to put this up because I'm not sure if it's any good, but I put a lot of time and effort into this, so I hope you guys enjoy this build, and please leave a like if you did enjoy the build, just so I know. And this is only part 1, so part 1 we will be doing the exterior, and in part 2 the interior. So part 2 will be up soon once I'm done with it. I don't know if there will be 3 parts because it is such a massive build, so I will try to keep it to 2 parts because I don't want it to be that long. And yes, I'm so excited to share with you this build. It's a really big build, so I used a variety of stuff packs just to get a variety of items so that the build doesn't seem boring. But I thought it turned out pretty good at the end. So right now we're just making the outer wall and putting in the guard towers. The guard towers, I really like how it turned out at the end. I thought it was almost spot on to the guard towers in the reference pictures I googled. So if you see like Zelda Twilight Princess's Hyrule Castle, the castle is like more of a circle layout rather than a square layout than compared to the ones in the older Zelda games. I first started playing Legend of Zelda when I was 5, which was before I started playing The Sims, which was when I was about 7 years old. And I fell in love with Zelda. Not Zelda the princess, but Zelda the game. And my mom had bought us a Super Nintendo and Zelda A Link to the Past. And I just loved how you had to fight monsters, explore the world, and solve puzzles. So this game will always hold a special place in my heart, which is why I was inspired to do this build. And I'm thinking about doing other Zelda inspired builds, maybe like a house in Kakariko Village, or maybe like a springs, but who knows? We will see in the future. Of course, The Sims will also have a very important place in my heart as well. I do have very great memories of The Sims. I remember always playing it with my cousin and brother, multiplayer, The Sims 2 on our PlayStation, and I miss that. If you noticed, there's a lot of trial and error in shaping this build. I really had a hard time trying to get that rounded layout. Even I had a hard time making the castle seem symmetrical. It is, but not quite. In the end, the layout works out, and the castle looks fine. At least I think it does. But now we're just doing the main castle or the inside. Also, I really wish we could build over four floors, because I would have achieved my desired height for the build if we had at least one more floor. So what I did is just elongated all the walls, and the castle's height seemed tall enough, but what I wanted was something taller, and I really wanted it to seem like really grand. But in the game, it doesn't seem like, in most of the Zelda games, it doesn't seem that big of a castle when you're outside looking at the castle. But inside, the castle seems so huge. There's so many rooms and dungeons and floors. So we're just doing the main towers, and I'm just experimenting and checking how it would look with different sized towers. In the reference picture I was using, it was from Zelda Twilight Princess. The towers were pretty skinny looking, but it looked too skinny in this build. So what I did was just make it wider, and it turned out really nice at the end. I am planning to build bigger structures in the future, so if you guys have any suggestions, even if it's inspired by a game or a movie, then leave your comments and we will see. Maybe I will practice it, and if I end up really liking it, I will record it and upload it onto YouTube. So what I'm doing now is I'm saving the room. It's easier to save the room and to place it in your build than to always having to rebuild the room. So I find it best to save the room, and it's a really good and time-saving technique too. I hope in the future the Sims will allow us to build more than 4 floors. I don't know, maybe it's gonna make our game lag a lot, but I think it will be fun, and we'd be able to make interesting and bigger builds, and it will be a lot of fun, I think. By the way, if you hear me mentioning Twilight Princess a lot, it's because it's one of that's my favorite Zelda game of all time. And I'm also excited for the newest Zelda game. What was the name? It was Breath of the Wild or something like that. And I saw the trailer and it looked really awesome, and I just can't wait. So once it comes out, I'm probably gonna buy it. Hopefully I can do a let's play on it and show you guys my experience on playing Zelda, the newest Zelda game. Right now I'm doing roofing, and again, roofing is one of my weak points, and I just did something simple for this. I struggle a bit in the beginning, but I get it toward later on. done with the whole exterior, I was like, wow, not bad for such a bad roof constructor, or whatever it's called. And I was pretty proud of it. I think it was last year when I bought the Legend of Zelda, A Link Between Worlds, and then I finished it in a week, and I traded it in for The Sims 4. Yep, that happened. I traded in Zelda for The Sims 4. But I ended up really liking both games, but I didn't have enough money for The Sims 4, but I really wanted the game, so I was like, okay, I'm done with Zelda, I'll just get The Sims 4. Hashtag broke girl problems. So right now I am putting in some half walls, and I alternate it using a lower half wall and then a higher one, just to give it that castle-y effect. It's such a big detail and makes such a difference to the look of the castle, and I really love what it does to the castle. So for the walls, I put in some stonework. At first I was going to go with that smaller stone, but I end up going with the bigger one from Get Together. That one is nice too, the first one I put down, but I think I wanted the castle to be a lighter color, so I used Get Together stone wallpaper. for the doors, there wasn't a big enough archway to put in, so I just removed the two walls in the grand entrance, and the half walls made it seem like an archway, and then I just added in some columns, and it worked really well. And then the rest of the entrances I used the rounded archways. And then, as you can see, there are half walls that I put for the bridge, and it really ties in the castle nicely. I'm really excited to do more builds. I already have a list of things I want to do, but if you guys have any suggestions of what I should try, please go ahead and leave a comment down below and let me know. So now I'm just putting in the doors and decorating, and also placing windows in. So for the entrance, I wanted to put like a Triforce, but of course we don't have any Triforces here in The Sims 4, and there were no like triangular objects, so I just used those 3 shields to make it represent the Triforce, I guess, and it works, but it's not the Triforce, of course, but it's okay. And then for the bridges, I was going to go with the columns, but I ended up using archways instead, because the column in the Zelda game, the bridges have like these arches. Yeah, it's more like the way I did it. So here I'm just putting in all the rocks to make the cliff-like effect look more natural. And I cut some footage out because it's such a tedious process, and I don't want you guys to get bored watching me just placing in rocks. This probably took me about 30 minutes to do, which is a long time. And I will move on to landscaping after this. I did minimal landscaping because the game, or this build already has so much stuff to it, so I didn't want my game to start lagging really bad. So I did minimal landscaping and made it as though the Hyrule Castle is near a field, like the Hyrule fields, maybe. I'm just doing some terrain painting too to make the landscaping look more natural. I love terrain painting because it's free. And I wanted to use that thing right there as a... I wanted it to represent the Triforce, but it didn't look good, so I just remove it, and I will add in the lights soon. The lights, I put in a lot of lights. So this build, like I said, has a lot of things in it, so I don't know if it will lag if you guys download it. It's not up in the gallery yet. It won't be up until probably part 2 is done, but I will announce it in the next part if it is out or not. So we will see. And I really like this build in the afternoon. It looks so pretty in the afternoon. I think it's because of the lighting. Even at night, it looks pretty awesome at night too. I'm just fixing up some of the detailing, putting in more half walls in the top towers, and reaching the end of the build. So the next part will be out soon when I'm done with the interior. I hope to see you guys then. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you all for watching. Bye!